Hey folks, I hope you're good. This module, we're going to very quickly look at ways that we can increase our energy at school. So I know a lot of you struggled when I spoke to you saying that you're feeling tired quite a lot, energy was down, and it's a common issue that a lot of teachers have. Coming into work, automatically feeling low on energy, automatically feeling tired, and then as the day progresses, we're surviving on caffeine, we're trying to survive on sugar, and we normally get a pickup maybe towards the end of the day, and then it kind of repeats itself the following day and for the rest of the week. And again, we just don't feel good. Our confidence isn't good while we're teaching then or while we're at school. Our mood is low, our patience is low, and we're just lacking motivation. So I know that's probably resonating with a lot of you. And I'm just going to share some simple things that can increase your energy massively. Now, these things, guys, are going to seem super simple, and you've probably heard a lot of them before. But honestly, they can make a massive difference. I know myself, if I look back as myself as a teacher 3 years ago, 4 years ago, my routine would have been work during the week. Come the weekend, I would go out maybe 2 nights, at least one night, probably nurse a hangover the day before work, wake up the first day of work. Used to be a Sunday because I was in Abu Dhabi, but would say Monday for argument's sake. And my energy was automatically low. Actually felt quite anxious a lot of the time. Felt on edge. Um, Felt bloated. Felt just rubbish. And it wasn't until maybe Tuesday or Wednesday during the week that I would begin to kind of get back. And then before you know it, the week's over again. You're back around to Thursday at the time it was, because I was living in the UAE. The weekend was Friday, Saturday. So then the week would come on a Thursday, and it would repeat itself again. Now, obviously, that was just a lifestyle I was living for year after year, and it was something I knew I needed to change. Now, the things I'm going to suggest here, guys, they are simple substitutions that you can incorporate straight away. And number one thing I'm going to say is that you just need to try these and be consistent with them, because it's very easy to do some of these things for a week or 2 weeks, and then fall off again. You have to try and build a habit into your routine. Okay, and I'm going to talk about routines and building a routine in another module, but it's super important that we try to build good habits as much as possible. The first thing, guys, that's going to increase your energy straight away is getting more sleep, and that might seem obvious. To get more sleep, you're going to feel more energized, but a lot of us are massively underslept. You need to be going to bed 8 hours before you get up. Okay, so if you have to get up at 6, you should be going to bed by 10. If you get up at 5, you need to go to bed by 9. Now, the reason for 8 hours is because you want the sweet spot of getting really good sleep is around 7.5 hours of quality sleep. Okay, your body goes through 90-minute cycles, so 7.5 hours is optimal for quality sleep. 8 hours, going to bed 8 hours, allows you 30 minutes to switch off, and it does take 20 to 30 minutes for your body to actually fall asleep. Okay, so we want to be aiming for 7.5 hours sleep, but going to bed 8 hours prior. And we need to be getting quality sleep. People tell me to get 7 hours, 8 hours sleep, but they're feeling wrecked. And then I ask them what their bedtime routine is like, what their nutrition is like, different things like that, and I find out they might be asleep, but there's a difference, guys, between asleep and feeling and actually getting quality sleep. And a prime example is when you go out, if you drink alcohol and you've had some drinks, very easily you'll fall asleep. You could sleep for 10 hours. When you wake up, after a couple of hours, you feel wrecked. The reason for that is because even though you've been asleep, you've been more unconscious than actually in a deep sleep. Okay, so there's different types of sleep. The deeper the sleep, the better. So we want to get into really good quality deep sleep, so that the better quality of sleep, the more energized you're going to be. So your bedtime routine is super important. So you should be limiting caffeine, I would say, 7 hours prior to bed. It normally takes 7 to 12 hours for it to actually come out of your system, depending on person to person. So I would limit caffeine. Go for decaf if you like coffee, decaf tea, decaf coffees, things like that in evening time. Don't drink any caffeine. And if you're working out late in the evening, guys, avoid caffeine prior to the workout. Your nutrition should be on point, so you should feel fairly energized for your workout. But caffeine is actually going to limit your sleep, and thus is going to limit your chances of fat loss. Because when you're underslept, your body's in a higher stress state. your stress hormone called cortisol is higher, and therefore your body can't focus on actually burning fat because it's in a stress state. So we want to get our sleep on point. So bedtime routine, make sure you pick a bedtime that you stick to and be consistent with it, even at the weekends if you can, as close as possible to it. You want to be as regular as possible. Doing things like dimming the lights around the rooms, around the house, is going to basically increase your sleep hormone. Okay, so your sleep hormone is going to be increased, your melatonin levels are going to be increased if the lights are dimmed. Remember, your body just knows the sun. Like, it doesn't, when it sees light, it thinks it's the sun, so it tries to stay awake. So by lowering the lights in the house, it's going to help. Switching off social media. Now, social media, not only does it have the blue light that's going to keep your brain switched on, but also the things you're looking at and thinking about. It's keeping your brain switched on. We want to de-stress. We want to relax the brain. That's why reading works really well. Reading fiction in particular, not non-fiction, because non-fiction can actually spark your brain into action again. Fictional books just help relax. Watching Netflix, something, guys. Just ease for the last hour, relaxed state, fall off to sleep and get good quality sleep. That's going to make a massive difference. If you get good quality sleep for 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to feel like a different person, honestly. So that's the first thing I would say. Next thing I'll talk about increasing energy at school, eating every 2 to 3 hours. Now, again, we're looking at fat loss, so calories are total amount to be in a deficit. However, you can space those calories out every 2 to 3 hours. That works well for a lot of people. Not saying it's for everybody, but what that will do is it's going to stabilize blood sugar levels. So basically our energy levels are going to stay the same. We're not going to have these dips where if we have long periods without food, we go really hungry, so our energy is down, then we eat quite a lot because we're so hungry, then we feel sluggish after eating so much, and basically are up and down all day, we're craving and so on and so forth. So basically by having snacks throughout the day, every 2 to 3 hours, so we're not feeling hungry, we're feeling nicely full the whole way through, it's going to make us feel a lot better. I would suggest buying snacks at the start of the week or every couple of weeks. Things like protein powder is super good, nuts, fruit, and actually have them in your classroom, have them in the staff room so you can actually go and grab them. Keep snacks, keep the blood sugar level stable as much as possible. Number 3, simple one, eating nutritious foods. The better foods you have, the quote unquote healthy foods, we are looking at calories for fat loss. However, guys, my way forward always for any of my clients is you want 80% of your foods at least to be coming from nutritious foods. Vitamins, minerals, these are the things that give us energy. Okay, this is the difference between calories. Even though calories are the number one thing for fat loss, some foods are going to make you feel different. Do you know how you feel after eating a lot of junk food? You feel rubbish because you're just not getting the benefits of it. Okay, you're not getting any minerals, you're not getting any vitamins, you're not getting no energy from it, you're getting rubbish food. So the foods, fruit, veg, lean meats, your healthy fats, these things are going to make you feel better and thus increase your energy. So go for nutritious choices. The fourth one, guys, is hydration. Another simple one. I will be aiming for 2 to 3 liters minimum per day. The more hydrated you are, the more energized you're going to be. Okay, so it's in people tell me they're lacking energy. I ask them how many glasses of water they drink a day. They might say 3 or 4. You need to be looking at 8 or 9. Trust me, you'll see a massive difference in performance in the gym and your daily energy. So start drinking more water. Bring a water bottle to school. Leave it in there. So you fill it up every day. And you're like, if it's a big 2-liter bottle or 1.5 liter bottle, your aim at the start of the day is, well, I need to drink this before I leave school today. And you just drink it. And you get in the habit of developing good habits. It's a really easy one, but you need to drink more water. Number 5, guys, is to move around more. Get off the seat, get moving. Getting blood through the body is going to actually make you feel more energized. You know yourself, if you're sitting down all day, you just feel lethargic. You just feel like rubbish. But if you're getting up and you're moving, you're going to feel that bit better. Your blood's going to be running through the body. And again, you're going to feel that bit more energized. Pick up the pace. Go for a quick walk around the school. When you're on duty, walk around. Again, just be active. Okay, it's going to help you feel more energized. And the last one, guys, is more of a mindset one. Start looking at things positively as much as possible. Because if you look at things negatively, it can actually affect your mood and therefore will affect the way you look at things and therefore affect your energy. So try to look on the bright side, as I say, as many things as possible. Okay, so I know things can be absolutely chaotic at school. Remember, a lot of these things are out of your control. They're going to happen no matter what. So you just have to try and look at them as best as possible. And honestly, having a positive outlook on things will actually help you when it comes to feeling better, increased mood, and so on and so forth. So they're some of the top tips you can start using today to increase your energy at school. Another note on that, like guys, just in relation to socializing at the weekend, that actually has a massive impact on your energy for the first couple of days of the week. So if you are, I'm not saying you not to drink, of course, and I've got a video on this of how to manage social nights and so on and so forth. But if you have had a lot of drinks at the weekend, your day before work, try to get the alcohol out of your system by going for a light jog or some form of exercise to sweat it out. Hydrate as much as possible and make sure you try and get as good night's sleep as possible before your first day of work. Making sure that first day in the week after a big weekend is good is massive for your progress, because a lot of people, I see it time and time again. You're good 4 days of the weekend you go out, blow out at the weekend, and then you feel rubbish come the start of the following week. You eat rubbish that day, you don't go to the train, you don't train for a couple of days, and it just leads to bad habits. If you can manage your weekend, like the thing is, go and have your drinks, go and socialize, but have a plan in place to make sure that your recovery is good, because you want the start of the week to be hitting the nail, you want to be hitting the ground running, you want to be flying into it again, okay? So if you are socializing, a lot of hydration, a lot of sleep, try and sweat the alcohol out. Those three things make you feel better. Your mindset switch is completely different. You go into school at the start of the week, you feel a lot better, you feel more energized. You start adopting these 6 different strategies I've just spoken about, and guys, you'll feel like energy's there. And that's going to lead on to all other aspects, your personal life, your training, your mood, and everything. So I want you to start looking at those. If you don't use those, let me know which ones I want you to start using one of them. Put up on the Facebook group how you get on, and then we'll go from there. So guys, they're my different tips for increasing your energy. Hope they're useful. Catch you soon.